Hi, the Canon here, bringing you a review of the recently released Samsung Galaxy S5. Now at first glance, it looks a lot like Samsung's Galaxy S4. However, the main difference here is the back cover, which are going for this new kind of grippy perforated back, which I like the feel of. It doesn't slip out of your hand like the S3, for example. Very slippery plastic. I know I've dropped it a few times. Yeah, there you go. Now overall design-wise, it's pretty comparable to any Samsung Galaxy S phone before it. Got your home button. Now one thing to take note of is that the menu button that was on the Galaxy S3 and pretty much every Galaxy device was the menu button has been replaced with the app switcher. Now, this may be a problem for certain apps that require that button, but there's a simple fix. All you got to do is hold down the button, and that's the same as hitting the menu key, which took me a little bit of finessing to figure out. You'll also notice the phone is slightly bigger than the S4. It is at 5.1 inch screen, full HD, looks spectacular. And you'll also notice that the volume buttons are a little high, a little hard to reach in certain points when you're used to hitting the power key that's down here. A little bit of a problem there, but it's nothing major. You got your IR blaster right over here, and a microphone on the front, headphone jack, this metal plastic they got going on, scratches very easily too, by the way, and you've got your USB 3 port. Now the reason why it's covered is because it is waterproof or water resistant, and yes, that is the USB 3 port. And you've got your speaker on the back. Doesn't look like much, but it does a decent job. Fingerprint sensor and a flash. Opening the back cover, we can see the removable battery and the expandable SD card slot. Now you may be wondering, since it is USB 3, you may be wondering if you can use your old chargers and accessories that were USB 2. Now this is the USB 3 one, fits right in there, and here is a USB 2 cable. You want to just plug it into the front part, and as you can see, it does charge the device. So that's great news. That means that you can use all your old accessories. I have tried out the USB port, that works, and surprisingly, the HDMI cable adapter also works. And you no longer need to plug in power to it. It'll just work, which is very nice. You also get in the box a really nice pair of headphones here with a controller and microphone, which is very nice to have. Now let's get into the device itself. Now the first thing you'll notice is the brilliant display on here. It is bright, vibrant, very nice. Now the colors are a little saturated, and if that bothers you, we'll get into that later, what you can do about it. First thing I got going on here is this little lock screen effect, which is pretty cool. It bubbles any colors that you tap, which is nice, and you get whatever messages you have displayed on here. Unfortunately, it doesn't say the name, it just says new message, which I don't know why if they had that on the S3 would they take it away. Seems like a good feature, but whatever. You got your camera shortcut at the bottom, which is really nice to be able to access your camera at a moment's notice, because that's what they're for. TouchWiz this time around is really fast and much more optimized than old models. You can really tell as the operating system flies. I didn't see any stuttering at all, except when first booting the phone. It is the fastest operating system by Samsung yet. First we'll take a look at the web browsing on the Galaxy S5. Now this is one of the fastest web browsers or mobile browsers I've ever seen. It is fluid and smooth. Even with all these pictures and graphics going on, it does not slow down. The camera on the Galaxy S5 is pretty impressive. This year Samsung decided to highlight fast autofocus, and as you can see it's pretty quick. It also has this mode called selective focus, which allows you to change the focus afterwards, although I couldn't get it to work right. The camera mode also gives you a range of options to choose from so you can get the exact picture you're looking for. It also has some other cool modes like virtual tour, dual camera, and surround shot. Here's an example of a non-HDR and an HDR picture. You can see the amount of detail is increased with the HDR photo. The photos taken with the Galaxy S5 are stunning. You get nice focus and bright and vibrant colors. You also get a lot of detail due to the 16 megapixel size in the S5. However, indoor photos are less detailed with more grain. The Galaxy S5 also has an Ultra HD option at 3840 by 2160. The phone also has a slow motion video mode, at the cost of losing resolution. The photo editor is pretty extensive. If you're more into professional photos, you can change just about every aspect of the picture, from saturation to the amount of red, green, or blue. You can choose effects and choose the intensity of them. You can also add little decorations to the picture. And of course, crop and rotate. And even a mirroring effect with some horrific results. The video player on Samsung phones have always been one of my favorites. It gives you a range of options, and you can even zoom in on the videos. Screenshotting is also very easy with frame-by-frame selection. The handset features IP67 classification, which means it can stand in up to 3 feet of water for up to a half hour. I decided to take it for a dunk in my fish tank to see how it fared. Afterwards, the phone was working perfectly as if I haven't dunked it at all. Just make sure you dry your phone off afterwards, because water can still get under the back cover, but not through the seal. The Galaxy S5 is powered by a 2.5 GHz quad-core Snapdragon 801 processor. On benchmark tests, the phone scores slightly above the S4. Nothing major, but it's definitely an improvement. The fast processor makes the S5 ideal for gaming. Even with enhanced resolution, the PS1 emulator runs flawlessly. Like on many Samsung phones, they again included the multi-window function, which is pretty useful on a screen this size. It's a very useful feature and you can use it with quite a few apps. Ultra power saving mode is one of the new features of the S5. It changes everything to monochromatic and limits connectivity. You can only use certain apps in this mode, but it does save a ton of battery power, and it's good when you're trying to get that last bit of juice out. As for regular battery use, you can get through a full day without needing a charge, even with some more moderate to heavy usage. Call quality was pretty good. All callers came in loud and clear, and no complaints about quality loss on either side. The Samsung keyboards has never been my favorite. The keys are a little too spaced apart, and I found it to be a little unreliable. Although it does still have the swipe mode, I still recommend using a third-party keyboard such as SwiftKey. The S-Note functionality on the phone is the same found on the Note devices. It's very extensive and you can do pretty much anything. You can change the color of the pen, the color of the text, and even put little voice recordings inside the note-taking app, along with pictures. You can even change your written words into text and move them around the screen. If you have a Note device, it'll also sync the notes to your phone. The music player is acceptable. It has a nice new interface that's pretty pleasing to the eye. Speaker quality is average, and with the speaker coming from the back, it doesn't sound that loud. The Fingerprint Scanner, although I don't really see the need for one, does work. Although, I found that I had a lot of trouble when trying to use my thumb. I recommend using your index fingers. The heart rate monitor, although I found it kind of pointless, I found myself playing around with it, and it does work. It will tell you if you're running that your heartbeat is higher than when you're laying down. The S-Health app itself has a lot of depth to it. You can enter in the meals you ate, or what kind of exercise you did. The only thing is though, you need to have the phone in your pocket, which is kind of a problem for me because it would probably slip out. I wish you can just enter in what you did and have it count. You're given the option to change around the color settings on the display, which is a nice feature to see. Air View functionality is back from the S4, and it works in much the same way. Hover your finger over a picture, a calendar event, and use it as kind of a mouse in the internet browser. It's cool, but kind of unnecessary. The Universal Remote app I found to be quite useful. You can control almost any device, including TVs, audio receivers, Blu-ray players, and much more. You can even have multiple rooms programmed in and switch between them. For those of you who have trouble holding a bigger device, it has something called one-handed operation, which you swipe left to right real fast. It'll go into a smaller mode that allows you to use it with one hand. It's a pretty cool little hidden feature in this device. Overall, I think the Samsung Galaxy S5 is a great offering with some cool new features like water resistance and a fingerprint sensor. The phone feels good in the hand and has an improved, more fluid version of TouchWiz. Unfortunately, there isn't much new here from the S4, but if you're upgrading from the S3 or any other phone, I'd strongly recommend this device. Thank you for watching my video review on the Samsung Galaxy S5. If you liked this video, please like, comment, and subscribe.